Hello, Christina Red Soul. Thanks for tuning in and happy Monday to each and every one of you. I just came across a story about the late Breonna Taylor case. Now, in case, just to recap who this young lady was, she was no saint, okay? Like me, I grew up as an honor student, conservative views, learned my values from my grandmother, and worked honestly since the age of 19, even as a full time college student. So that wasn't the case for this young lady. She got involved with a lot of relationships with bad rhetoric, and usually, when you're in an urban environment like that, instead of these women having common sense and having wise choices of who they choose to associate themselves with, they just hang out with the person simply because of the same demographic or whatever the case may be. So, in addition to her not being a saint, she lost her nice job in Louisville as a paramedic due to getting involved with an ex boyfriend who, where the police found a dead body in the trunk of a rental car she had or something like that. And then her death a few years ago. A couple of officers go in, it's nighttime, and people want to lie, about the Michael Brown case. They see people want to lie about something that didn't happen. So they want to state that this lady was innocently in her bedroom when that wasn't the case. I believe she was in the hallway protecting her boyfriend. He comes out and starts shooting, and police officers got them both. So I don't know how involved she was with him as far as drugs and other illegal activity. So apparently, when you're involved in with the wrong crowd, it's unfortunate how you lose your life, like many others. And now I'll get to those because the same lawyer that was in the Trayvon Martin case, I can't remember his name. Um, the most important is the detective that was found not guilty by the name of Brett Hankison. I think I said his name correctly. And I saw this story in the Daily Wire. If you want more detail about it, it's on my podcast and it's nearly a half hour long. It's the same as Rare, so you can find it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I'm naming those in particular because those are the big ones. And so you had others. Of course, there was an outrage, and then shortly thereafter, when there was an arrest, when this young lady died and was slaughtered, whatever. Um, Daniel Cameron, the Attorney General of Kentucky, I believe that's the whole state, made a comment and said that they come across the whole evidence that these cops were innocent and did their jobs. So apparently, justice was served on both ends. Later on, of course, Daniel Cameron got backlash from liberal media, a lot of black liberals on CNN saying he's skin folk, not kinfolk, or whatever. And it was expected. He talked about this on Tucker Carlson show and Megyn Kelly show before she was really when she first started her podcast. Before you can actually see it on YouTube, it was just audio. So, I mean, it was something to be expected. The rest of us, I mean, look at the t-shirt I'm wearing. That's expected of us for the name calling that we've gotten used to. And during my interview with the news talk guys on Friday morning, they couldn't understand how I could go through that. But it's just, You have to have thick skin. Everybody is not going to agree with you, just like everybody is not going to like the clothes you wear. Everybody is not going to like where you live. Everyone is not going to like the car you drive or any decision you make in life. There's always going to be, you may have some people that's going to say, hey, that's great what you're doing, but you're always going to have those that's going to be against you. Me living, moving to New York, for example, to finish grad school, including my family, I got a lot of backlash for that. If it weren't for finishing my master's, I wouldn't be here in Texas talking to you fine folks. So I digress. But this same lawyer that honored this person um, defended other, you know, non-productive people like the Trayvon Martins, the Michael Browns. Um, what's that last one? The unemployed one, drug addict, George Floyd as well. So it's just interesting how within the last few years there were two out of the three officers that were found not guilty. And what I mean by that is Derek Chauvin was the only one that was found guilty. Now, if they're going to charge him like that, I don't even think he did. Honestly, I don't. I mean, he may have. He didn't cause his death. He probably was on his knee a little bit too long than usual. But I'm not a cop, so I'm not going to go by the judgment. Just like I wouldn't say anything foolish where a cop, shoots a man in the leg. That's not going to happen because that's not how they're trained. Because who knows that the person is trying to hurt the cop, right? And this person, George Floyd, resisted arrest several and refusing to get in the car several times. You all know the story. Bottom line is, I don't think Derek Chauvin was. Honestly, I don't think he was guilty. If they were going to charge him like that, maybe a suspension, or but I don't think he should have gone to prison or been arrested for that. Okay, maybe a suspension without pay for several months. But whatever. I mean, they said they're trained to do that, and they said the knee wasn't even on his neck; it was on his shoulder blade. So yet he's a hero. He got the golden casket, something that would never happen with real heroes. If you really want to honor some uh, a black person, people like Clarence Thomas, Thomas Sowell, Walter Williams that recently passed away, Colin Powell. And those last two I named, you honestly think they got a golden casket? And Candace Owens mentioned that when she did her uh, near over half hour or so video about the truth background about George Floyd, how Black Americans, and I've even mentioned this, are very illogical and toxic when it comes to honoring certain people, and a criminal seems to be one of them. So, and I won't go back to what I repeat, before. I mean, Satan himself can be black, and black folks will go along with that nonsense. But it's I hope this young detective lives in peace. He definitely can't stay where he is. Definitely needs protection, and um, blessings to his family. And hope all is well. I mean, prayers to both family, the Taylor family as well. I mean, they can't control their daughter's decisions, but especially to the young man that is scot free for doing his job. Christina Resso, pray for our nation. Pray for the brothers and sisters in the persecuted church, and I'll talk to you super soon.